Iowa beat the hell out of Michigan State. We have, not to pat ourselves on the back, but we have been doubters of Michigan State for most of the season, have we not? I think there was
so.
There was a period
ever
of time
since we broke the scoop that they were not going to be able to play Michigan.
Right.
Due to COVID.
Michigan State and Villanova both have been teams that like I have not loved. I wouldn't say they're frauds, but I like didn't. I'm just like I'm not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it. I keep trying to see it. I'm not seeing it. And there were moments with both teams, and there still might be a moment with Villanova. Because I'm slowly realizing that Villanova is actually good. I just don't really love watching them play. But there's a moment with Michigan State this season where I was like, I could be wrong, but I just gotta write this out. I'm in too deep.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a talent issue. I really do. The team has zero identity. You watch if they were wearing different jerseys, they were wearing blank jerseys. You had to guess like what team is this? They have no hallmarks of a Michigan State team whatsoever. I think the biggest problem is probably that Max Christie was supposed to be awesome,
better than he is,
and he's not, and that's okay because it's like he's a
freshman. It's a lot.
That's how it works.
Yeah, exactly.
More often than not, freshmen come into college basketball and they're not the best player on the team, which is why the ones who are stand out to us so much.
Yeah.
And ultimately, like you're relying on guys like Malik Hall and Gabe Brown, and that's where they found themselves. Is like, you guys have to save us. The only way we're going to win games is if Malik Hall balls out for us, and you're like, that's that's going to beat some teams in the Big Ten. Is that a Final Four Michigan State team? So my point is, if you're someone who talk yourself into Izzo every March, and you say like it doesn't matter what Tom Izzo has, he can scrap
January,
it fine.
February Izzo.
I mean, I'm sure when it happens, I'm gonna have my words thrown back in my face. But like, I don't see the hallmarks of the other Final Four Michigan State teams that I've seen through the years, where like they might not have the talent, but like, God damn it, they
play hard
and they play good defense and they dominate the boards and like all this. This team doesn't do that, and they also don't have great talent.
I think they may have peaked already.
Yeah,
that's my biggest.
Or is that what Tom Izzo wants us to do?
I know that's my problem with Tom Izzo is that he always seems to have a puncher's chance, especially when it comes to March. So it's hard to, like you said, can be thrown directly back in your face. But I don't even know what seed Michigan State is right now. What, a 5 seed, 6 seed?
They're probably, my gut tells me they're like a 6 or a 7.
Okay, so
this is how I feel. I don't know, but I'm not a
7 seed because
I'm not a Q guy though. We know this. I don't know what their Q.
We're going to talk about that in a little while.
I don't know, but my gut, my eye test.
Yeah.
I
5, 6,
I
7
say they're
range.
like more 6 or 7.
Yeah.
5, but yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
I'm right there with you, and I don't think that they're a team to believe in. But I like Iowa.
I was gonna say, how good is Iowa?
Yeah, I think they're good
because they smoked the Buckeyes in Columbus. These are the last 2 games. They smoked the Buckeyes and smoked Michigan State.
They have the guard Bohannon, this guy who, like we were talking about, R.J. Cole. Jordan Bohannon knows what the right play is, so we get to late game situations in March. He knows what to do. They have a legit star on their team. I'm just not sure how far. I don't think they're a Final Four team.
I think
they're a second weekend team.
For me, it's hard to shake what happened to them last year.
Yes, which was getting exposed.
Yeah, that was the most obvious disparity in athleticism I've ever seen on a.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me when LSU played Duke in 2007. You know, where it was just like, oh wow, like this is a different level. And these
bad matchup.
Yeah,
bad matchup. So I guess for me, for Iowa going into this NCAA tournament, the question I would then have is, what have we done, Iowa,
to address
this?
Mm-hmm.
Which college basketball is not the NBA, so you can't just like sign free agents and that, but it kind of is, kind of in the transfer
portal. Yeah.
Do you watch this Iowa team and say to yourself they are markedly more athletic and dynamic? No. And no, of course not. And if they played like the Oregon team from last year, they could match up better with them.
If they played USC in the tournament, USC, I think, would really give them problems.
I think the one difference is instead of funneling the ball, trying to get it to Luka Garza and Joe Wieskamp, you're giving it to Keegan Murray, who is that guy and can be that guy. And that's a good spot to be in if you're Iowa. If you're an Iowa fan talking yourself into this.
Yeah.
Because Keegan Murray can go against anybody. But yeah, as a team, I don't know.
I think they're overachieving.
That's why that's why they're an interesting team to me because they're definitely.
I think he obviously is going to go to the NBA draft, but if he did come back, then I would be like, if it was next year and Murray came back, I'm like, they're a title favorite type team because he's at that level at that point. You know what I mean?
Bohannon's back for an 8th year in this scenario, or
yeah, he's back. He's back. Somehow he's back. They need an athletic guard, really, like a point guard that can really, be.
That's what every team in college basketball, and true. I think that's what this season has been. Why the tournament's going to be so fun, I think, is that there aren't a ton of great point guards in college basketball. And that is usually
that's good for RJ Cole.
Yeah, that's usually the engine that makes these teams go. And when we look at national title teams, it's usually there's a guard on the team that's like, I got this. Just get the ball. And not necessarily the scorer or even the assist guy. It's just like a guy that you trust. And
Severe Wheeler for Kentucky.
Yes.
Like there are a lot of guys like that.
But there aren't a ton of, who's like the top crop, like the Tiger Campbells and Nimhards and
I was gonna say my 1A 1B. I think Nimhard's probably number 1 right now, and then Tiger Campbell as far as like guy that can do exactly what you want from that position.
Yeah,
traditional.
Like they're all good play, but like you're talking about the history of the sport. Like that's not a crop that you're stacking up against some of the guys we've had in the past. So that's gonna make for an interesting tournament because what I just said. I don't need to say it again.
Hey there, thanks for watching Titus and Tate. For the full friend of the program experience, subscribe right below and come join us for all things college basketball. The action is heating up. Come join Titus and Tate.